We are told when we're growing up that, playtime, engaging with our imagination, being creative, all of these things are for when we're younger. So we meet a lot of adults nowadays that say, oh, I'm not a creative. Oh no, that's not me. I'm not a creative person. But actually, the reality is we are all creative. We all were children at one point, and almost everything a child does is a form of creativity. So I do think that it exists within all of us. It's just whether we choose to tap into it or not. 31. My birthday just passed. I turned 31. Thank you. And every birthday, I like to reflect. Look at the previous year and see, what have I realized? What wisdom have I gained? And that's what I'm gonna do today. So let's get right into it. When I look back at 30, what stands out to me? What am I carrying forward with me? And I'm just gonna speak from the heart. The first thing that I wanna talk about is my parents. My mom and my dad are still together. They are 64 and 65. I don't know, when I entered my 30s, something clicked inside of me. It made me realize that my time with them is finite, they aren't going to be living forever. Neither am I, but obviously they're older, so there's a good chance that they're gonna be gone before I am. And with that, I've just gained an immense amount of appreciation for them, and spending time with them it was enjoyable in the past, but it's even better now that I have this deep appreciation that just continues to grow and grow. Again, it's not always easy with them. I don't want to paint this picture that I have this perfect relationship with my parents, because it can be challenging. I think most people can relate to that, but overall there's this unconditional love both ways, and it's a bit scary because I feel like I rely on them so much for this emotional support and guidance, and while this is such a beautiful thing to have such an incredible relationship with my parents and to gain so much from them, they really shape my perception of the world in so many ways. And yeah, while that is so incredible, it's also so scary, because when I put myself in that reality when they're no longer here, it makes me feel empty, it makes me feel lost, and yeah, it just doesn't feel good at all. And actually, when I was writing out my reflections before, I was crying. I couldn't stop crying because I really put myself in that place, which I'm not going to do right now because I don't want to cry for you. It made me think of a conversation that I had with my dad that I want to share, because I think that it's very insightful and maybe you can gain something from it. So recently, my dad's dad passed away, so that's kind of what started this conversation. I was sharing these feelings with my dad that I just was talking about of feeling lost without my parents. So my dad then shared the concept with me of non-attachment or attachment, which is that attachment is the root cause of suffering, and that clinging to anything, including my parents, will result in continued suffering. And by practicing letting go, by practicing accepting what is, I can move through this suffering with greater peace. And this doesn't mean that I have to be emotionless. It doesn't mean that I don't have to care or that I have to stop spending time with my parents. It just means that I can bring awareness to this attachment and accept that it's not necessary, that I am whole without my parents, that I am whole without my relationships, that I am whole without any of the things in this life that I let quote unquote define me. It's kind of an abstract concept, but the more I meditate on it, the more I practice this way of thinking, the more I experience inner peace. And, I'm not I haven't perfected this, but it is a practice, like I said. And yeah, I guess I'm just so grateful for that lesson from my dad. And my mom has also taught me lots of lessons, which I won't go into today. But yeah, 30s, they really, I don't know if it's the same for you if you're also in your 30s, but it really has made me appreciate my parents immensely. Okay, number 2, dancing. So I love dancing. So I go to this thing called Ecstatic Dance every Saturday that I'm free. And it's essentially a sober dance party without any drugs, without any alcohol, without any judging, no camera, no phones. You just show up and you move your body however you want. and there's a DJ, there's some form of electronic music, and also there are people of all ages, all backgrounds. And it's just so wonderful, and I've never experienced feelings of liberation and freedom and joy as much as I have in ecstatic dance. And I don't know, it's like, it's been healing. I don't know what it's healing, but it's healing something. And I can't live without it. And also, it has transformed my confidence outside of it. Outside of ecstatic dance, I've become more confident, because essentially when you go to ecstatic dance, you're practicing dancing and moving your body in a way that's non-performative. So if you think about going to the club or going to like a dance party in the traditional sense, there's some conscious level of performativeness, you know, like you are performing to a certain degree. Whether you're conscious of it or not, it's there. But entering in this space where the goal is to kind of let go and really listen to your body and move your body how you want, not to judge yourself or others, it takes away that performativeness. I don't know if that's a word, but you get what I'm saying. And of course, it still comes back. Like when I'm in ecstatic dance, it's not like I'm 100% the whole time on another planet. Like, no, I do get thoughts of like, oh, how do I look? Do I look weird? Do I look hot? But then I like come back and I remind myself, okay, bring attention to these thoughts. Why are you here? What is your body telling you? You know? And so practicing that way of thinking has transformed my confidence in the real world, because now I think less of what others think of me. Again, I'm not perfect. Like I'm not constantly living in this state of like, oh, I don't care what others think, but I definitely notice a difference. Okay. And then number 3, creating. So I started my YouTube channel about a year ago, and honestly, since I started it, my life has been so much more enjoyable. Not because of like the subscribers and the comments and this and that. That's cool. I don't even have that many subscribers. I don't get that many comments. Of course, there's like a certain dopamine effect as a result of those things. But honestly, just the creating part of it, the process of filming, editing, writing, all of that provides me with this level of joy and satisfaction and fulfillment that I think was missing from my life before. And it's also encouraged me to explore and play in other areas of my life. And I think that we are told when we're growing up that, you know, playtime, engaging with our imagination, being creative, all of these things are for when we're younger. So we meet a lot of adults nowadays that say, oh, I'm not a creative. Oh no, that's not me. I'm not a creative person. But actually the reality is we are all creative. We all were children at one point, and almost everything a child does is a form of creativity. So I do think that it exists within all of us. It's just whether we choose to tap into it or not. If you don't choose to tap into it, that's totally fine. I'm not judging. I just am speaking from my own personal experience that leaning into my creative side has just enhanced my life so much and has allowed me to learn more about myself, grow, challenge myself, and I don't think I'm ever going to stop creating until the day I die. So yeah, that's all I have. I don't want to reflect anymore because it's a bit exhausting. It's exhausting being vulnerable, and this is me being vulnerable. Like I said, I was crying before. And yeah, that's all I have to say. This video is a little bit different today because I'm so jet lagged. I flew in from the US yesterday, and there's 5-hour time difference, so I'm just tired. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening.